Hey there, welcome back to Sea Power, welcome back to 89 Red Horizon. We have a new mission, and I'm going to show it to you instead of with a cinematic intro with this, because the creator for the scenarios has been hard at work giving all the missions a briefing like this. We are back to Puget Sound, and that's a bit interesting because I don't understand why we're back here. Last time around we were here, they tried to invade, we kicked them out, and it was a pretty swift victory. And now, not only have they managed to land, apparently they didn't do that there, no, they went all the way into the Sound and started taking these positions down here. How? How did they get there? Beats me. Anyway, Soviet forces have established strongholds on several islands in Puget Sound with surface warships, shore-based SAM systems, radar installations, and subsurface assets. So we got the whole gamut. 2 submarines, Olympia and San Francisco, have successfully infiltrated Puget Sound and will coordinate strikes with TF-33, which is coming in from the west. So I imagine that these are the submarines. We've been assembled to lead the counteroffensive with the objective of breaking enemy control of the Sound and securing dominance in the region. We are to infiltrate the Sound with the Coronado and the Peleliu, that's Task Force 33. We're to set up and establish air superiority, regain control of the waterways, and neutralize shore-based SAM and AAA systems in the area. This counteroffensive is critical to reasserting control over Puget Sound and opening the door for follow-on landings. Success will break enemy control and re-establish US naval dominance in the Pacific Northwest. Again, I'm surprised we lost it. This is a sort of campaign series, if you will, and I don't think it has a good continuity. Because last time around we were on the eastern seaboard, now we're back on the western seaboard, and why did we lose this in the first place? Anyway, specific tasks. We are to infiltrate Puget Sound, we are to maintain air superiority, destroy any surface combatants, coordinate the Olympia and San Francisco to strike enemy submarines. I think I'm going to use those as listeners first. Sensor platforms. Eliminate shore-based AA. We can expect Soviet warships armed with missiles, guns, and torpedoes. We can expect Su-24 and MiG-23s. We can expect an unknown number of enemy submarines operating in the AO. How about that? Particularly in the narrow waterways. I think this can be a very interesting target, but also a very weak spot for a submarine, because it has nowhere to run away. Not to the west, not to the east, not to the south, not to the north, and not down either. Because some of these are very shallow. Now, they have deployed these AA and SAM systems on fortified islands. I don't exactly know where. What do we get? Coronado, landing platform dock. Peleliu, landing helicopter assist, or landing helicopter amphibious. USS Missouri, Princeton, the guided cruiser. The Fife, a destroyer. The Jarrett, a missile frigate. Tasked with air and surface defense, engagement of enemy air defense. Olympia, San Francisco. This operation marks the first major US counteroffensive in the war and reassert the control over Puget Sound. Okay. So let's see what we can already detect. Come again? You've You got a new passive contact. You've already detected the enemy submarine. Well, my job here is done. That makes it a lot easier. Range to the San Francisco is 12 miles. San Francisco does have a nice amount of depth below the keel at about 600 feet. So I'm tempted to already shoot a torpedo in that general direction. And just let that catch up. So that's what we'll do. Torpedo away. We're going to dogleg that southwest and then due south. Let's mark up the enemy submarine. They are presently here, heading there. We also have a detection on the SA-6. It's probably not alone, it's probably trying to detect things for somebody else. There's also an SA-10, so they have a couple of pretty nice radar sites and AA platforms set up. I have a P-3B, I have no airbase, I have no aircraft carrier, but I suppose that with Peleliu I have a, well, an aircraft carrier-ish. I've got AH-1Ts, I have AV-8ACs Harriers. These things can do a seed loadout, but a seed loadout is a cluster bomber. Not a great option, but it works. Strike loadout is a couple of Mark 82s, and ship is a couple of Mark 83s. Close air support is Zunis, Rockeyes, and drop tanks. And then we got ferry loadout. Okay, we don't really get access to an early airborne warning system. I'll just throw up 2 Sea Kings and we'll go with that. Jarrett over here. I want you to have your towed sonar array deployed. I don't really expect submarines to be here, but that's exactly when they get you. So I'm going to launch 2 ASW birds. 2? Nah, 1. The Jarrett is going to take point here, and her helicopter, coming up now, is going to deploy sonobuoys, making sure that this convoy can get to where we need it to go. What do we know about the submarine so far? Not much. Confidence is growing. We've got about a 0.15, so it'll take a while before we develop that contact. We do know it's a nuclear boat. Actually, no, it can still be a diesel boat. We just know that there is a submarine out there.
Track 7003 is classified. Hostile submerged submarine.
Guess all options for what it could be just went out the window. This is where we need to go. We need to infiltrate this. I want you to go to head 1/3. Go to periscope depth. Humor me. How are we detecting this? ECM, I imagine? Sorry, ESM? What, the P3B? Yeah, P3B has them on ESM. Out to a 147-mile range. Very nice. Alright, my friend. You. Griffin 1. I'm going to take up position there. You're going to do that at 10,000 feet. Once we get there, we're going to flip on the radar. Griffin 2. You are going to go there. 10,000 feet. You know more about this guy? What's he doing? He's doing 13 knots. Okay. He's in a hurry. Still don't know anything about him. I am still tracking him. Interesting how the submarine knows exactly where it is because... Well, I mean, sound travels underwater through interesting vectors, but this is not like a direct line of sight thing, because there's supposedly a bit of landmass between myself and them. Can I... No, you cannot queue orders for a torpedo, unfortunately. Alright, the Sea Sprite is also airborne. I'm going to tell the Sea Sprite to get out there and take care of submarines. What you got? New surface contacts. 41.9 knots. But you're not going anywhere in a hurry, are you? You are probably going to beat yourself real fast. Olympia. Can you kindly raise the ESM mast? Let's see if we can find anything. Oh, there's the birds. Detecting those on the ESM from the Olympia. I'm going to assume they're hostile. The problem is I can't really see where there are just yet. Supposedly they're about 80 miles away, which is something that I can shoot at. So I'm going to turn on the radar here, the air search. That should immediately increase definition. Not quite. Height, 3,000 feet. Right. It's mountainous area here, which makes it difficult to get radar on point. I could go a little ways off the reservation and turn Olympia's search radar on. Noisemaker. This guy's getting jumpy. Upscope. Yeah, we're going to do something a little weird. I'm going to turn on the radar mast for the submarine so that the Princeton can shoot down those incoming aircraft. It's not typically how I would normally operate, but in this condition, I am just going to preemptively engage. And I am expecting to be able to guide those missiles in once we actually have a better definition on them. We're just kind of sending them in the general direction. This guy is now getting quite alerted. I think he might do a snapshot. And he's going to shoot right back at where this torpedo came from. Which means San Francisco should be safe. Is there a layer? Yeah, we're going to sit below the layer for now. Now, these missiles should cruise at real high, 45,000 feet. We are locked on target 7006. And we actually have them on ESM still, not on radar, from Olympia. Seeing as radar isn't actually giving me anything, I'm going to turn Olympia's radar back off.
Lower the radar mast.
They're turning around. Oh, crap. Oh, we got him. Semi-small on radar. Whose radar? Princeton's search radar. Good.
New air.
I
Contact
hope we can
detected.
guide them in well enough. Helo.
New air. Contact detected.
Not a helo. Not a helo at 549 knots. That's not a hostile. Sorry, it's not a. It's not a helicopter, but it's definitely hostile.
4.
And you are
New air. Contact detected.
friendly.
Track 7.
And you are
0.
friendly.
Is classified. Friendly.
Okay.
Air. Track 701.
Okay.
5 is classified. Friendly. Air.
I like how the Olympia is just snooping here. I don't think we can get them on periscope.
Faded.
7015 neutral air, yes.
5.
20 miles out. So we can get some early kills here. Griffin 1. Turn you. Oh. Okay. Alternate plan. You're gonna go down. You're gonna lay soda buoys. I always forget that Sea Kings don't have a radar aboard. Bit wasteful. Because Griffin 2 then doesn't really have a task. Except for hunting down submarines. So, yeah, I guess that's what we'll do. Geez, you guys carry almost no sonar buoys. Okay. Draw a zigzag pattern here. Last buoy goes into the water there. Griffin 2 is going to take up assist from there. So we're going to go intermittent. There, there, there. Shepherding all of these ships through here is going to be fun. Okay, I'm going to tell this torpedo to start searching. Actually, we have the target here. Ish. Task thing is now... it's not locked in yet. No, never mind. It's not locked in yet. We have seemingly lost our targets. And unfortunately, that's the end of the ride for those missiles. I can still do the same thing with San Francisco. Why not? Give me periscope depth.
Depth 3, 6. Dive I. Track
Yeah, this thing is beached. It has 3 feet below the keel.
4 is
Idiot.
classified. Hostile warship.
You're 10 miles out. No, that's harpoon territory then. So he's going to be at about 175, 170.
New air. Contact detected.
I hope this harpoon can get there.
Roger that. Bulldog away.
If this was cold waters, I would never pull something like this. Because the AI would be on top of you almost instantly. But this is sea power, and you can actually get away with it. In fact, I can probably strike those radar sites. It's so unfortunate that AI just manages to run their ships aground like this. What I'm hoping for is that this thing is just on the other side of this little landmass here. And that's right in the pop-up phase for the harpoon. I want the harpoon to pop up and slam down on the other side of it. That's the plan. But it first has to find the target. If it cannot do that, the whole plan fails. I think it's skimming just high enough to go over. Come on, buddy. You can do it. No, he's going to find the trees in the landmass here. Come on. Oh, actually, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Yeah, not gonna happen. Aha. That was an OSA 2. I guess the crew put out their camping gear and can just stay here. Because that's one dead ship. Alright. So, you, my friend, active... No... Yeah, whatever.
Surface search on.
New contacts. You are going to have to tell me exactly what you are. Which, of course, you don't. Alright. Time to launch a couple of Harriers. Yeah, just make it an air-to-air. So I can retask it later. State your identity. Does not respond. Speed, 33.6 knots. That's a bloody fast fishing boat, that is. I don't believe fishing boats come quite that fast. Hell no. Send it. Shoot first. You don't get fishing boats to go quite that quick. Nor ferries. Only military ships go 33 knots. Well, and maybe search and rescue units, but those are not part of this game. Oh, we have active pings. This thing is dialed in on something. There's a noisemaker, but where is our target? Course 182. I cannot steer the torpedo anymore. It wants to hit something. It's a good problem to have. I still don't have an exact track on that thing. P3B, altitude 25,000 feet, good. Turn on your surface search. Well, well, well. Another 33 knot unit at high speed. Mark it. There. I'm tempted to hit these things with cruise missiles because I don't think they have a whole lot of response against that. Is that Spade 1 ready yet? Almost. Alright, take off and then go have a look. This guy is stationary. Could be a neutral unit, could be something lying in ambush. I'm not sure. I want to check it out. Before it actually managed to get its ambush away. As for this torpedo, I'm seeing more noisemakers kind of leading back to our target. We should have enough fuel. We've only transited like... yeah, we've transited 11 miles from San Francisco, but not in a straight line. So I'm going to say it's 13. That means that this thing still has 15 miles in it, fuel-wise. 15 miles. And you are... Spade 1. Talk. Agrees to comply. Airliner. Cannot communicate. Alright, give me a VID. You're up way higher. You should be able to communicate with him. Merchant. Not a problem. Torpedo status? Getting there. 0.7 miles out. Go hunting. Now, San Francisco has reached periscope depth. Let's have her raise the ESM mast as well. I wonder if we can pick up those aircraft again. We cannot. Raise the radar mast. Nothing. Okay, lower the radar mast. We're just going to go with passive sensors. Mark it. Princeton has a new contact, 7027. That's a U. I think you're flying away. Not respond. P3B, can you talk to him? Oh, never mind. It was not a... yeah, they just don't respond. Fine. This harpoon should have enough of a seeker cone to go after this target here, which I'm going to mark as hostile. Hit track 7003. That is not a happy submarine. Sneaky little shit. We still got depth. Seemingly lost propulsion. I'm not seeing any, well, any kind of injury on the side of him. Interesting. There could be submarines all over the place here. That has me a little concerned.
Air. Contact
Ah.
detected. Bandits.
Classified hostile air. How? Because it's a MiG-23 or MiG-28. Gotcha. Hold up. Where did my harpoon go? Unclear. The hell? Oh, you're dead. Yep, that's the dead foxtrot.
New air. Contact
Um,
bandits.
Sending a tomahawk after this is a bit of overkill.
Bulldog away. Track.
Let's go double in case he shoots one down. I'm not sure if he did shoot one down, but I don't understand where the missile suddenly went. Unless it slammed into this.
Surface. Contact detected.
What you got? 7033. There. Spade. Flying real low. Can you talk to this thing? Not respond. Great. Just have to investigate him. This thing also ran itself aground. Good lord. Idiot. I can't really engage that. San Francisco, I'm going to lower your mast. I'm going to tell you to go a little down.
Make my depth. 306. Dive on station.
P3B on station, excellent. Griffin 1 and Griffin 2 deploying sonobuoys. Sea Sprite on point. Some meager contacts, probably a missile boat. Not even moving at flank speed. Missile or torpedo boat. San Francisco is diving. I'm gonna go ahead to third. I want to go to about here at this point, and then throw a missile at that target. Because cruise missiles can't get there, but a harpoon can.
Faded. Track 7.
That's the plan.
0, 2, 2.
Spade, what you got? What are we gonna find there? Is that a fishing boat?
Contact faded.
I highly suspect that it is.
Contact faded. Track 7.
Just one that's very incommunicative.
Track 7, 0. Contact faded. Track
Probably busy fishing, I guess.
3, 3. Track
Confirmed. Fishing boat.
1.
Alright, Spade.
Is classified.
Go VID 7033. With a very large contact coming in at 10 knots. Probably not a threat. This is not accurate enough to throw a missile at it. I'm gonna see if I can get that contact on radar. Where's the P3? Here.
Roger. Turn. Roger.
I'm gonna get this thing on contact on radar to send some cruise missiles after it. Olympia. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of cruise around here. Multiple tracks faded. We lost 30, 26, 28, 25, 24. It's definitely those air contacts and then probably something else. There they are again. They're circling around at 3,000 feet. If I had a Tomcat, I'd shoot it down. If I have a Harrier, I'm not going to try. Because I don't think it is safe. Now, let's tell this formation to start hurrying up a little bit. So we can easily deploy sonobuoys much, much, much faster than these guys can sail up. Air contact. Changing speed rapidly. Altitude's only 1,000 feet. I don't think my search radar can pick that up. Unfortunate. Okay, run a little faster. I wonder how many more submarines we're going to find here. I'm assuming that the San Francisco, which somehow made it into this place and then back, has swept this entire position. I don't know about what else is out here, though, so that's going to be Olympia's job. Okay, tell me, what is that on the horizon? Something is shooting at the missile. Yeah, missile boat. OSA, again. Bastard. You got another warship that you ran aground? This is getting a little stupid. Not to the detriment of the content or the scenario creator, it's just the AI that's, well, less than adept at maneuvering their ships in any safe form. What you got? Another fisherman sleeping on the job? Yeah. Okay. Yep, again, something flying around 1,000 feet. Oh, you got enough fuel. I don't really feel like engaging with this Harrier. I don't even have a radar, and my missiles are AIM-9 Sidewinders with a range of 4 miles. This is mostly a scout aircraft in my book. This thing is getting picked up by radar now. From the Sea Sprite even? Okay. Yeah, well, we got a battleship. Let's start doing battle with the enemy. I'm gonna start sending a couple of land attackers after this. Let's say Salvo 4. Not sure if we'll be able to accurately hit this thing, but that's why I'm just gonna go with this. There's 2. 3. 1 more. 4. Happy hunting, gentlemen. 80-mile flight. Good luck. Actually, seeing as this thing is beached, you can't attack that. I can kind of attack right next to it. Not sure if that counts. This is purely experimental. I'm going to see if I can hit a beached ship with a land attack missile. Because the land attack missile has terrain following. The anti-ship missile version does not. So, if I send an anti-ship missile after it, it's going to somehow find a surface element to slam into right there. But a land attacker has terrain following and it will just fly over anything and everything that it finds to the point where it ideally reaches its target. That's the objective. Not much later, the Tomahawks are almost there, and you can see that these things are nicely doing terrain following, popping up, popping down, you know, flying through a building, because that's not a solid object in this game. And once they are going to be getting closer to the target, ideally they'll slam close enough to that radar site so I can eliminate it. I don't exactly know where it is, though. I don't have the exact coordinates of it, so I just kind of scattered some cruise missiles around, hoping that I can eliminate that surface-to-air site. There you go. Following the terrain. Hold up. Something is slamming into the ground. But it's not my cruise missiles. So we are under attack. There's some surface-to-air stuff here somewhere. That's going to be annoying to dig out. Sovremeni? Okay. It couldn't be the Sovremeni. Well, I guess it could be the Sovremeni shooting at it. That is possible. Because the Sovremeni could shoot that far. They have guns ranging out to, like, 12 kilometers, I think. 13.8. Close enough. The question is, are you good enough to shoot down the missiles, which are kind of targeting you? And they're shooting into the ground here as well. There. Just messing up the island here. Alright, let's see. Where's that radar? Oh, not terrible. Oh, close. Hit! Yep, that got him. Very nice. Okay, this, I think, is our last surviving cruise missile. One of them, 2 of them, got intercepted by the V55RM. The what? The... What is that? Looked it up. 5V5RM is an S300. So that potentially is that second missile battery over there somewhere. Or this one. Yeah, it might be this one, in fact. Okay, I have more cruise missiles for you, gentlemen. So let's go send them out. Salvo, single shot. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll just kind of hit something as long as it kind of gets into that area. Now, the Sovremeni is the target I was hoping to engage with the San Francisco. But the problem is, I cannot really do that with a cruise missile. Because they'll A, detect it, and B, shoot it down. So the second option is torpedoes. But for that, she might be too far away. Also, she might actually be too shallow. I'm not sure if my Mark 48 will get this close. It might. It might not. Alright, let's thrust forward until the point where we get closer to those things getting dropped. Because I want those surface-to-air missiles out of the fight. At this point we have Griffins 1 and 2 kind of completing their sonobuoy drop. And yes, I did swap to the dark mode so I can have a bit better contrast between the contacts here. It's going to take me a lot more time before these guys actually make it to the infiltration point. And right now, I don't really have a whole lot of reason to assume that there's more threats around. Yes, this is annoying, but if this is the primary objective, like just get there, then only at this point is that Sovremeni going to be able to do something about me. Because their missiles... not those. Sorry, it's an ASW boat. But it does come with the muskets. That's 70 mile, yeah, 71 mile range. Interesting. I don't think it's going to be doing much. So maybe San Francisco can sink it. Second strike against the AA platforms is not going well. Because I keep getting intercepted. I thought that flying this low, and especially a radar looking at a whole bunch of trees, would allow these missiles to get there. But unfortunately, those S-300s are actually able to get a pretty decent defense going. I'm surprised that these guys got all the way over there to defend. But I think the S-300 has a really good range. Isn't that the one which has, what, 50 mile range or so? So it's possible that they are very adept at shooting much farther afield and easily defending the Sovremeni. This is the last tree line here. Another one could intercept it. There, there. This one's too far, of course. This one... Well, if we slam into the ground now, which we won't. Nah, we are way off mark. Way off. Oh well. I've decided to chance it with San Francisco. I'm going to send 2 torpedoes against the Sovremeni and we'll see how it ends up. If they turn out to be shooting at a target that's too shallow, yeah, unfortunate, but I want to get these weapons out here one way or another. And I think this is the easiest way, if it works, to get rid of the Sovremeni. Sending out a whole bunch of missiles against her, I think is not going to work. She has a single launcher there. She has another single launcher there. She has some pretty hefty sea whiz. I think she'll survive. What I don't know is if this Foxtrot is alone, or rather was, because I am, well, at the moment, sending torpedoes right down this canal. And if there is another contact out there, it might well freak out. If there is another contact out there and it freaks out, that's where the torpedoes are going to go instead. So that's the backup plan, if you will. As for the task force, it's definitely going to take them a lot more time to get here. So I'm going to cut out a few bits here and there as we're doing attacks, because the most of it is just transiting. The torpedoes did indeed lock onto the Sovremeni and are now on their final leg of the journey. Normally, this is where a surface ship like this is going to go, oh shit, torpedoes in their way. And they'll start throwing out noisemakers, it starts zigzagging, it starts moving away. I wonder how the AI is going to treat this, because they got none of those options. As for the torpedo, I really hope it stays as shallow as it is, because it's going to have to get a lot less shallow than that if it wants to actually hit the Sovremeni. What is the AI doing outside of this? Nothing. I'm seeing the occasional helicopter, occasional MiG-29, MiG-28 flying around, and there's nothing beyond that. There's no attacks, there's no initiatives, there's nothing. And this poor Sovereign, I mean, he has to know that there's something going on. But he's just not making an effort. Oh, you have to be kidding. I can't steer the torpedo anymore either. Is this because they tried to engage the keel? This is more like it. Hit. He doesn't seem to be too phased about it. Propulsion's still running. It's like he's trying to beach himself harder. But that's mostly because his stern is going down. Sad state of affairs, really. There's another surface contact somewhere farther down to the south, but I first want to have this guy eliminated, as it is, so I can then send another torpedo down the path. Another poor ship over here. Something really small. A Petya. It's a Petya 2. They're essentially just small frigates dealing with the submarines. Yeah. Oh, there's something next to it as well. Unless the submarine deals with you first. Which in this case, I bloody well can, because nobody has challenged San Francisco's presence whatsoever. I think that this scenario is... How should I put it? Like, the scenario itself is good. I like fighting in this environment. It's just that the AI absolutely cannot handle it. They don't know how to sail their ships. They don't know how to keep their things, well, from beaching basically anything. So all I need to do is send a torpedo, send a cruise missile, send a ship missile. And that's all that I'm doing. To make things a bit more interesting, I've sent the Jarrett out here. And maybe I can start engaging some air contacts. Because these air contacts are just circling here. That's all they're doing, they're just flying in circles. I pick them up, I lose them, I pick them up, I lose them, I pick them up, I lose them. That's basically what we're doing. There you go, that's the Petya dead. This is what our new beachfront property looks like. A nice ship, slightly damaged. This is what I believe on Marketplace they would call a ship with potential. So you might need to do some work on her, but if you have the skills, if you're feeling handy enough, then yeah, this is an excellent project to spend your hobby money on, as well as a lot of your time. Because I think that this might take a bit more salvaging than your typical ship. Anyway, San Francisco is going to shoot another torpedo, and we're going to engage that other ship out there. And, well, I think beyond that is just basically waiting until we get there. Which is not a particularly fascinating part of the mission, of course. So... Oh. Hold on. Wow, we got some action here. Interesting. We actually have some action. I was gonna say, how would I improve this scenario? A few more, let's say, earlier chances that you're gonna get engaged by something. So, maybe some more ships coming out of here, some ships coming out of there. And that is if you are sticking to the premise where you're saying, yeah, this is a sort of credible story. If you don't think this is a credible story, then the thing kind of falls short entirely, because I think that story-wise, as well as execution-wise, this is unfortunately the poorest of the scenarios, and that's not entirely down to the creator, it's just down to how the AI sails, or doesn't sail, or attacks, or, well, doesn't attack. I mean, this is cute, but dead. SU-24 down in the drink. It feels like there's absolutely no resistance, whereas last time around, at least there was some. Also, what I feel like I'm being forced to do as a player is just sail around, wait until we get to an interesting point, and then launch a couple of cruise missiles against this, for example, the SA-6, the SA-10 eventually. I mean, yeah, I can cruise missile this strike easily. Oh, sorry, I can send a cruise missile strike after this target easily with a 5. Because I have lots and lots and lots of Tomahawk land attack missiles. 40 of them, in fact. So, let's go and saturate the place. That'll keep the 5 busy for a minute. But outside of that, like, it's... I think it's unfortunately not a great mission. It's been worked on, definitely, but it's just not very challenging. How could you make it more challenging? More ambush? Please don't send me another wave of SU-24s. But what I would expect the Soviets to do is go, hold on, if we're invading this, then the Americans are going to try and potentially, it might be a far cry, they might try and come into the channel. I would position multiple submarines here. And have maybe an attack come from, let's say, here, which is going to try and attack you in your back. That could make this a lot more interesting. Let's see, how's this torpedo doing? Because we haven't actually found our target yet. I don't want to attack the Petya again. It's right next to the Petya. Now it's searching. Oh, it's acquired something. And interestingly, San Francisco itself isn't actually picking up this thing. It's just that I happen to know that there is something out there. Jared's going to go through this channel first, and then comes the rest of the formation. So she's running at 30 knots, basically serving as a picket, as well as a sort of come get me if you can. There you are. Come get me if you can, because I need something to diffuse the situation and make sure that if I get attacked, it's going to be on the frigate, and not Coronado, and not Peleliu. And boom. I gotta say, it's good times for beachfront property. Bye-bye. What the hell was that noise? Alright, let's see if I can actually get all of these missiles intercepted. I doubt it, but who knows. Almost there. 8 miles out. Let's see if they can detect and engage again, because we're 5 miles out. I'll keep an eye on my ship as well, but it seems to be in the clear. There. I haven't shot any down, but they're... well... I'm not exactly sure what that is. It seems to be S-300s, which are kind of misplaying the deal. By the looks of it, some of these missiles might have the best shot. They're splashing down pretty far away from those S-300s. Yeah. Then again, I'll be damned if I'm going to send a Harrier after this. Not a good option. Boom. It's almost like they got shot out of the sky, but I find that very hard to believe. And as my vessels sail into the Sound, that is mission complete. Amphibious landing forces have successfully infiltrated Puget Sound under cover of darkness. Darkness? And air superiority. They are now in position to begin offloading troops and equipment for the counteroffensive. The tide is turning. Not exactly a spring tide, was it? Okay, it was a mission. I didn't lose anything. I only bullied the AI. Oh, sorry, I did lose. What killed you? Oh, maybe one of those SU-24s. Anyway, it was an okay mission. I think it has room for improvement. Let me put it like that. Let me know what your thoughts are below. I look forward to seeing how you would change it. And I look forward to playing the next mission and hope that's going to be a bit more challenging. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon for more.